Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Oprah Winfrey once said that the right to choose your own path is a sacred privilege. Use it. Dwell in possibility. Edith Johnston Noguera was mother to her children, Johnny, to her friends and coworkers, and to me, my siblings and cousins, she was Granny. I want to tell you about her because her life has influenced so many. Granny charted her own path. She believed that the decisions she made were well thought out, and once made, she didn't second guess herself. My granny was a native Washingtonian, born in 1899. She was a tough cookie. The flu epidemic of 1918 killed one brother. The other brother died of kidney disease. But her brother taught her how to type before he died. And she got a job as a government worker at the Bureau of Census, and she was greatly respected. I know of her hardships, but when I look at photos, I see a woman who radiated steady confidence and positivity. As a woman, she was way ahead of her time. But was she a feminist? Absolutely not, she would say. She was just a woman making the decisions, making choices that were right for her. No need to brand it. In the 1920s, she played tennis outside the Department of Commerce after work. On the weekends, she would go to Annapolis beaches, going out on a boat, maybe wearing a bathing suit that was a little bit revealing in her time. I don't know. But she wasn't embarrassed. It was just the body that God gave her. She made choices like waiting until her 30s to marry in the 1930s, which was almost unheard of at that time. When asked why, she said, I wasn't missing anything. I was having too much fun. And when she married a naturalized citizen, August Noguera, from Italy, and began a life with him. A few years later, at age 35, she had her first child, Judy. And then in 1938, my mom, Cece. And at age 41, she had her last child, Edie. She went right back to work, working every day, 9 to 5, just like my grandfather. They'd leave in the morning and they'd come home in time for dinner. This meant that the children, when they came home from school, there was nobody there to greet them. They mostly looked after themselves. My mom once asked her, how come all my friends have a mom at home and you're not at home? And my mom told me that she said, Cece, I work outside the home. They work inside the home. She made no apologies. It was her choice. What kept the kids in line? Knowing how disappointed she would be if they didn't behave. Granny followed routines that worked for her. In her house and ours, once she lived with us, there was cocktail hour every night, 2 Manhattans. With a deep faith in God, she made no compromises when it came to her religious devotion. She would watch the Mass on TV if she wasn't able to go to church. And Granny always made time for people. She brought people together. She really believed in family unity. Talk to your cousin, she would say, anytime they called, pushing the phone at me. When my grandfather got Alzheimer's, she asked for what she needed. And she moved in with family, our family, to be his devoted and constant caretaker until his death several years later. I can't imagine the emotional toll that took on her. But Granny's love broke boundaries. She helped her daughter get back on her feet after divorce. She was respectful and proud of my sister when she became a Buddhist nun. And she believed love is love when my cousin fell in love with a girlfriend. But did she embrace change? She kind of had to. In her life, she saw automobiles replace carriages. She saw the telephone replace she saw the telephone replace the telegraph. 2 world wars, the Great Depression, the invention of motion pictures, the space age, and the invention of computers, cable, cordless phones, and the dawn of the internet. Granny is probably the person who has made the greatest impact on my life through her impact on those around me. She had the courage of her convictions. She taught us to trust ourselves, to think things through, to do what was right for us, to live with a full heart, and to create a life without regrets. That was my Granny.